A woman stealing from a church in Jamaica. A man left his kid on Mount Fuji. China is enhancing robot capabilities, and you're telling me Meta is once again facing a lawsuit? Guys, here are some stories you may have missed this month. Let's talk about them. So let's talk about this father who left his 7-year-old child on to finish his hike on Mount Fuji. For those of you who don't know, Mount Fuji is over 3,000 meters high. It's like the highest mountain in Japan. I'm pretty sure it is still experiencing volcanic activity. And from time to time, people, tourists, locals will go on a hike. They'll try to hike the mountain because I don't know what's the obsession, but I just was not built to be gravitated towards those things. But a lot of people are. And so there are hiking stations, I think. They're like safety stations that are on the mountain. And this man took his 7-year-old son along with his other elder son and was like, hey, let's go hike. But obviously, he's a kid. So a couple minutes into the hike, or maybe like an hour or so after the hike, the child is like, I'm tired, I'm frustrated, I'm hungry, I'm just 7. And the father decided, you know what? Let me give you a pop soda, a soda, and a snack. You're going to sit your butt over here, and me and your brother, we're going to finish the hike. And you just wait for us right here, because all this complaining and this nagging that is coming from you, a 7-year-old, is kind of getting to me. And believe it or not, the man left the kid there. I'm not even joking. Like, BBC reported on this a few days ago, basically stating that the father was reprimanded by police. Essentially, the kid had to wait 8 hours in total for him to finish the hike and descend. This is just absolutely crazy, because not only coyotes and wild animals and all those things that I believe are just hanging around could have been in the, just there waiting to eat this kid. You left him on his own at the age of 7 with a canned soda and a snack. He could have like run off, gotten, I don't know, trafficked or something. He could have fallen off of a cliff. This is just height of irresponsibility that I cannot believe is even being broadcasted today. Like let's not give anybody any ideas. All right, moving on. Let's head to China, because apparently the humanoid robotics games are currently underway. I think it's their own. Think of it as a robotic Olympic sporting event. Over 1,000 competitions. I'm talking table tennis, running. I don't think swimming is involved, but essentially these tech companies are building robots to basically compete in different sporting activities. And it is actually an event that was first launched last year, and this is the second staging of the event. And news broke a couple of days ago that essentially one of the robots over 100 meters beat Usain Bolt's record. And it's just been making headlines. And I don't know if they were expecting us to feel happy about that, especially us Jamaicans. Like, when you're going to start talking about breaking Usain Bolt's records and all them things, you got to be careful now. Like, you got to be careful how you talk about that. But essentially, a robot has outperformed humans by running faster than Usain Bolt across 100 meters throughout the games. In this article by BBC, it says that the humanoid robot developed by the Beijing Innovation Center ran the distance of 9.39 seconds at the event. 8th-time Olympic gold medalist Bolt had set this record for humans in 2009, running 100 meters in 9.58 seconds. The robot beat 2 others, including one made by Chinese smartphone maker Honor, which the manufacturer says ran the distance in 9.32 seconds. However, that was during a test run. Now, in all honesty, China has been on this thrust of just really pushing humanoid robots. It's an emerging industry, with policymakers and companies betting that advances in AI and hardware will accelerate their deployment in manufacturing and consumer applications and all these different industries. And so far, over 2,000 humanoid robots have been participating in the games, kind of showcasing their capabilities, their, where the technology is today. And I thought it was pretty interesting. I mean, I'm not particularly impressed. Obviously, there are some concerns here wonder, like, how far are we looking to take this? Because if already China is contemplating developing these robots to fill the manufacturing industry, the consumer appliance industry, people who work in those factories are probably really concerned. Next, we're still focused on tech, and now we're going to talk a bit about Meta and its never-ending lawsuits. Now, you guys may recall earlier this year, Meta basically was sued and they had to pay up close to $1 billion to cover, I think it was some penalties and remediation for teens who were affected by the usage of platforms like Instagram. And so now this week, just coming into this final week of August, Meta is going to be facing another lawsuit against 4 different states in the United States of America. Now, according to the Washington Post, Meta comes under legal fire again with 4 states demanding $1.4 trillion in damages for alleged harm to young users. This time, the lawsuit brought by Attorney Generals of California, Colorado, Kentucky, and New Jersey demands that Meta pays up and redesign its products as a restitution for harm it has allegedly caused young users. Now, I think this is stemming from them losing that lawsuit earlier this year, which basically says, hey, you are guilty of developing these platforms that caused harm to these young teens. What these attorney generals are demanding is that since you are guilty of that, you need to now rebuild your entire structure and system, the app itself, for both Instagram and Facebook and any other Meta social media platform that exists. And not only that, you also need to kind of cough up fines to people who were affected. Now, the lawsuit alleges that Meta designed Facebook and Instagram to be addicting for teenagers, while also driving a public relations campaign that allowed parents to feel like the apps were safe for their children to use. And of course, Meta has hit back and rejected those claims, arguing that the case has failed to show real evidence of real world harm and is asking for unreasonable changes. Tell me, guys, what do you think about this? For me, it's a little touchy because I don't know what's gonna make Meta more different from other social media apps. Every social media app you can think about, their algorithm is wired to keep you addicted according to what you're interested in. And so that particular narrative is, I don't know how to fairly judge that in a situation like this, outside of just parental controls and what you should allow teenagers to be able to access, things of that sort. Anyways, moving on to our final story in this quick roundup. We are taking it local because I was looking through my local Jamaican news, my local Caribbean news, and never in my life would I thought I see a headline that says a 46-year-old woman from Portland, Jamaica, being charged over breaking into a church. Now, according to Jamaica Gleaner, her name is Jane Brown. She's a vendor of Stony Hill, and she was charged with sacrilege and receiving stolen property. Now, Brown was arrested following an investigation into the theft of 2 speakers valued at approximately $80,000. When I first saw this, I was like, did she steal the communion, the wine? I don't know if churches keep a little bank where they collect, the offering and the tithes in the back. I was like, what could she have stolen from the church? But she stole 2 speakers. Literally 2 speakers, allegedly. Just some of the comments under this post, basically one person was saying, let's see if the church forgives her and helps her with what she needs, because that's the Christ-like thing to do. Because as you know, the church is currently pressing charges. Another person says, I pray the church drop the charges and forgive her, plus give her counseling. And one lady who was just making a joke saying, boy, them things that make the place so hot because it make God upset, essentially. I don't know if the church simply dropping the charges is really the right thing to do. I feel like it's pretty tough. The Bible does talk about if you steal because you're hungry, you shouldn't despise the thief and you should help them, but you can't eat speakers and I don't know. This is just pretty interesting. It's a thin line between justice and exercising Christ like, forgiveness. And I mean, can you pursue justice and also exercise that? That might be a food for thought, but I'm gonna leave it there. Those were some stories you may have missed last week, this month. If there's any other story that jumped out for you and you want me to cover it, please drop it in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to hit that subscribe button, hit the like button if you enjoyed it, so that YouTube can continue to recommend more videos like this to you. And I'll see you in my next one. Bye.